Hello friends, in our previous lecture we have completed the transactions related to capital and drawings. Now today we are going for the next type of transactions. Now friends, on page number 103, second type is given transactions for loan and interest. So first let us see in theory. See, in theory part it will not be according to the order, but in the exercise it is in the order. So for this theory we will look on page number 70. Always whenever we are starting any type of question, first according to my method we are looking its theory. Okay, so let me write on board. Everyone must write in your notebook also. Type 2. Yesterday we have seen type 1. Now today we are going to see type 2. Transactions of loan and interest. Transactions of loan and interest. Now friends, first of all you write one thing in your notebook also along with this. When we are taking the loan, it is loan taken, and in account it is known as loan taken only or borrowed. Whenever we are taking the loan, we are borrowing the loan. So loan taken or loan borrowed is said in accountancy, and this is our liability. In the same way, if we are giving the loan, then it is loan advanced or loans lent, and that is our asset. After that, two more points. For loan taken, interest is to be paid. Now whenever we are paying such interest, that is our expense. In the same way, for loan given, interest is to be received, that is our income. This thing everyone must know, that whenever we are taking the loan, it is known as loan taken or loan borrowed, and that is our liability because we have to repay in future. When we are giving the loan to others, then we are advancing or we are lending the loan, and that is our asset. We will receive the amount from them in future. For loan taken, interest is to be paid. Whenever we are taking the loan, we have to pay the interest, that is our expense. Whenever we are giving the loan, interest is received to us, that is our income. So write these concepts, and now we are looking what is given in the book. On page number 72. Transactions of loan and interest on loan can be categorized into two categories: loan borrowed and paid, payable interest; loans lent and received, receivable interest. Here they are telling one more concept, that sometimes interest is not paid, it is payable, and sometimes interest is not received, it is receivable. Then you can understand that that thing is not received, so instead of word cash, that name will come. Same way for purchase and sales. If we are giving the money, we are writing cash account. If we are not giving the money, then we are writing parties account. And additional capital required besides owner's capital to run the business. In these circumstances, businessman borrows money from bank, financial firm, other person or financial institutions. These obtained loan is known as loan borrowed. Many times surplus or idle funds of the business are lent to employees or third person. It is known as loans lent or lent loan. Both the types of loan accounts are personal accounts. Thus, the rule of personal account is applicable to you. You should remember the rule of personal account. Interest amount is calculated at predetermined rate at the end of specified time period. Interest on loan borrowed is an expense, and interest on and interest account is debited, while interest received on loans lent, it is our revenue and it is to be credited. Interest account is to be credited. Borrowed loan is liability of business, therefore it is credited. Lent loan is receivable of the business, therefore it is debited. The things what I have written, the same thing is given. Now we shall go to the exercise and solve its sums. So page number 103, 7th question. Transactions of loan and interest. Write the following transactions in the journal of Pushkar. So we will make journal of Pushkar. Question number 7. Journal entries in books of Pushkar. Date, particulars. LF number, nothing will come, so don't wait space in it. Okay. Debit rupees, credit rupees. Okay. 1st February 2014, due to additional requirement of funds, 12% loan of 20,000 borrowed from Ram. We are borrowing the loan from Ram. So we are borrowing the loan, so cash will come in because we are taking the loan. So cash is coming in. Moreover, who is the giver of the loan? Ram. But don't write only Ram's account. If you are, I had explained this in the 2nd chapter also, that whenever we are borrowing the loan, write Ram's loan. Don't write Ram's account. The reason is that if you are simply writing the name of person, then it is thought that you have given the money to him and he is returning back the money. No, we are additionally taking the money from him. So specify that it is his loans account with percentage. So on 1st February 2014, cash is coming in through loan, so cash account debit to percentage is given, so 12% Ram's loan account. 12% Ram's loan account, amount 20,000. Being loan at 12% taken from Ram. Next date is 3. Rupees 8,000 lent to Lakshman at the interest rate of 8%. In the previous transaction, we are taking the loan, so cash is coming in and Ram was the giver, so to Ram's. Now the opposite transaction, we are lending the loan to Lakshman. So what will be the entry? The entry will be opposite. We are lending, so our cash is going out, so cash credit. And whenever we are giver of the loan, so Lakshman will be the receiver, so Lakshman's loan lent account debit to cash account. Loan lent to Lakshman at 8% account debit to cash account, amount 8,000. See, one more thing, the word is little bit big, So I have written it in two lines. Loan lent to Lakshman at 8% account debit. If it is not coming in single line, then use two lines, and whenever the sentence is completed, keep their debit and write their 8,000 and credit side 8,000. Okay. So opposite entry of previous being loan lent to Lakshman at 8%. Next date is 10 to 40. Okay, let us see. Sorry, not 10, it is 8. It's my mistake. Received cash. We are receiving cash, so cash is coming in. 800 for loan lent to Bharat and 200 for interest. What they are telling? Read the word again. We are receiving cash of 800 for loan lent to Bharat and 200 for interest. Now friends, first of all understand the thing, whenever we are lending the loan, we are receiving the interest. So interest is income. Cash is received, total 800 plus 200, 1000. For what cash is received? Cash is received from Bharat loan lent. Whenever we are giving the loan, they are the benefit receiver, so they will receive. But when they are returning the loan, they are benefit giver, so they should be credited. So cash is coming in of 800 plus 200, 1000 for Bharat's loan lent and for interest received. Again I am repeating. Received cash of 800. Cash is received, so cash is debit. 800 for loan lent to Bharat. Whenever we are lending the loan, Bharat is the receiver, Bharat should be debit. But whenever he is returning the loan, we are receiving back the loan, so Bharat is the benefit giver, so Bharat's loan account credit and interest received account also should be credited. Okay. So cash account debit to loan lent to. See, again space is not enough, so I am using two lines. It is not a problem. To loan lent to Bharat, to interest on loan account, to interest on loan account. Okay, whenever it is of loan taken or loan given, always we will write the word interest of loan. Okay, now we are receiving from Bharat 800 for loan, 200 for interest, so total we are receiving 1800 plus 200. B, cash received from Bharat for loan lent and interest. In cash received from Bharat for loan lent and cash and interest. Okay. Next 10th date. 5,000 returned back to Sita for borrowed loan and paid interest 400. Totally opposite to it. Here we are lending the loan. The loan is received back, so cash is received and interest is also received. Now in the same way we are returning the loan to Sita. We are returning the loan to Sita. First Sita was the giver, so she is credited. Now Sita is the receiver because we are returning back the loan to Sita, also paying the interest. So receiving the interest, so interest is credited. Paying the interest, so interest should be debited. And cash goes out for that, for loan and for interest. See, these both were opposite, now these two are also opposite. See how? Percentage is not given. Sita's loan account debit, interest on loan account debit to cash account. We are returning for loan rupees 5,000. We are paying 400 interest, so total we are paying to Sita 5,400. being loan returned to Sita and paid interest. Now friends, I was saying these two are opposite and these two are opposite. In which way? How? Let us understand. In the first transaction, we are taking the loan from Ram. We are taking the loan from Ram. So Ram is the giver of the loan. We are taking the loan, so cash is received, so cash to Ram's loan. In next transaction, we are giving the loan to Lakshman. So Lakshman is now the receiver of the loan and we are giving our cash. So loans lent to Lakshman at 8% account debit to cash account. If percentage is given, then write like this, otherwise no. So here cash is coming in, loan is taken. Here cash is going out, loan is advanced or loan is lent. Now other two transactions. Now person is Bharat. Bharat is returning the loan lent to him. Whenever we are lending the loan, you can see cash is going out. Whenever the loan is coming back, cash is coming in. So cash is coming in from Bharat's loan lent and Bharat is also paying the interest. So Bharat is paying, so we are receiving or we are directly receiving the interest. So interest is our income, Bharat is the giver. So Bharat is the giver, Bharat is credit, interest is received, interest is credit and cash is received for it. So cash to Bharat's loan lent and to interest on loan. In the same way, whenever we are taking the loan, cash is received. Now here we are returning the loan. So cash is going out. So we are returning the loan to Sita. So Sita will be the receiver of the loan. Also we are paying the interest. So interest is expense, interest is debited and cash goes out. So cash is credited. So we can say that these two transactions or these two transactions. Or we can say that compare these two and compare these two. Here we are taking the loan, then returning back the loan. Here we are giving the loan, then loan is coming back to us. Or decide who is the receiver or who is the giver. Or cash is coming out or cash is going in. Interest is paid or interest is received. If you are thinking in that way, then these things are very easy, friends. Seriously. Okay, less space is there, so today I am drawing one more format here. Because you all can see properly, so I am drawing these two formats. Okay. What's next? Next is 12. 12 to 40. Yeah. Received interest of 200 for loan lent to Kushal. We are just receiving the interest. Interest is income, interest is credited. Receiving cash for that interest, so cash account debit. So cash is received, so cash account debit to interest on loan account. Kushal's name is not required. 200 being interest received for loan lent to Kushal. Next is 50. Okay, next. Interest. This is very important. Interest for 1 month is 1 month paid for loan obtained from Ram. We have taken the loan from Ram. Amount they are not telling. We have to calculate. We have to pay the interest to Ram. Here interest is received, so cash to interest. Now we are paying the interest, so interest is expense, so interest debit and cash credit. An amount we will calculate. Totally opposite to it. Interest on loan account debit to cash account. First, don't write the amount, write the narration itself. Being interest for 1 month paid to Ram's loan. Now we will calculate the interest. So in the bracket, interest is equals to loan of 20,000 was taken from Ram. At what percentage? Percentage is 12%. And we have to calculate for 1 month, so into 1 by 12. I think everyone should know this. In 10th standard, this thing is coming. Principal amount 20,000. Rate of interest, so I is equals to PRN upon 100. Same thing is there, but now you don't have to divide by 100 because we have calculator and we have directly percentage. So principal amount 20,000, rate of interest 12%, and time period is 1 month, 1 by 12. So take your calculators. Now you should calculate through calculator only. Take your calculators, write 20,000, then multiply 12 and press the percentage button. So will you get, do you get 2400? Yes. Now multiply 1 divided by 12. So you are getting 200. How? Again. Principal amount is 20,000. Rate of interest into 12 and press the percentage button, directly you will get 2400 into 1 by 12, 200. So in this transaction we have received interest on loan. In this transaction we have paid interest on loan. But how? Ram's loan was there and 1 month interest is to be paid. So principal amount is 20,000. Yearly percentage is 12 and we are paying for only 1 month, so into 1 by. Next, last transaction, 18 to 40. Rupees 75 became receivable for interest on loan of Lakshman. Receivable word is there, received is not there. So only one change. Whenever we are receiving the interest, cash is coming in and interest is the income, so interest on loan. So now only one change. Here we have received, the word received is given. And here the word receivable is given, so instead of cash use the word, what name is given? Lakshman, nothing else. Okay, this is only the change. So how will you write it? Lakshman account debit to interest on loan account. Why? The reason I will get. See, when you have received the interest, cash has came in and interest is income, so interest is credited here also. Now the change is there, interest is received, so cash comes in. Interest is receivable, not received, now receivable in future. Write the name Lakshman because he will only give to us in future. Okay, so what will you write? B. Interest receivable for loan lent to Lakshman. Now friends, one more thing I will tell to you. When interest is received, cash to interest on loan, when receivable, Lakshman to interest on loan. So name is written. In the same way for this transaction also we can make. In this transaction interest is paid. Now if that question is not given here, if interest is payable, then you can understand interest on loan is okay. If we have paid that to cash, if we have not paid and payable in future, then instead of cash use the word that name is given. That change only is there. Now again I would like to repeat, if in one page this thing is there, then don't take the total, directly take the total at end. I don't want total carried forward and brought forward, okay? Yes. 20,000, 8,000, 1,000, 5,000, 400, 200, 275. 3, 4, 8, 7, 5, 20,000, 8,000, 800, 200, 50, 400, 200, 275. 3, 4, 8, 7, 5. So friends, again we shall repeat all the transactions so that it becomes easy for me and for you. Due to additional requirements of funds, 12% loan of 20,000 borrowed from Ram. We are taking from loan from Ram. So Ram is the giver of the loan and cash is coming in. So cash account debit to Ram's loan account. Next, 8,000 lent to Lakshman at the rate of interest 8%. Now we are lending the loan to Lakshman. So Lakshman is the receiver and our cash goes out. So loans lent to Lakshman at 8% account debit to cash account. Number 10th transaction. Rupees 8th transaction, received cash. We are receiving cash 800 for loans lent to Bharat and 200 for interest. So we are receiving the cash. So cash is coming in, cash is debit. Moreover, Bharat is the giver for loan lent and interest is received. Interest is received, so it is income. Giver is credited. So cash comes in, cash debit. Bharat is the giver, Bharat credit, and interest is the income. So interest is credited. Then 5,000 returned back to Sita for borrowed loan and paid interest 400. We are giving back for the loan to Sita. So we are giving back. So Sita is the receiver for loan borrowed. Interest is paid, interest is expense, interest is debited, and Sita is the receiver, Sita is debited, and cash goes out. So cash credited. So Sita's loan debit, interest on loan debit, cash credit. Next, we are receiving interest for loans lent to Kushal. So we have received the interest, so cash comes in and interest is the income, interest credit. Next, we are paying the 1 month interest on loan to Ram. So interest is expense and cash goes out, cash credit. Now in the last transaction only one change, interest is receivable. We have not received, interest is receivable in future. Interest is income, interest credit, and it is not received receivable. So instead of cash, write the name which is given. So that's all. Okay, now we are going for type 3 transactions of bank. Let us write type 3. Yes. Type 3. Transactions through bank. We will see its theory part first, then we are going for the sums. Page number 69. So on page number 69 I am reading, everyone listen. Transactions through bank. In present time, majority of financial transactions businessmen undertake through bank. Two types of financial transactions are made with the banks in business. Cash transaction, non-cash transaction. That number one is cash transaction. When cash is deposited in the bank, businessman deposits surplus cash in bank. Bank is the cash receiver. Bank account is personal account. Thus, as per the rule of debit the receiver, the bank account will be debited. Cash goes out, so cash will be credited. We know this rule. Whenever we are depositing the money in the bank, bank is the receiver of our money, so bank account is debited. Our cash is going out, so cash account is to be credited. So, thus they are explaining some of the transactions which are there. On page number 70. When cash is withdrawn from bank, totally opposite thing. Cash is withdrawn from bank for expense or any other reason as per the need of business. Now see, read the first sentence again. Cash is withdrawn from bank for business expense or any other reason as per the need of business. Sometimes it is written in the question that withdrawn from bank rupees 500 for office expense. Then you should not write office expense to bank. You know that office expense is our expense, so debit the expense, bank is the giver. We are withdrawing the bank for office expense, so we have not paid the office expense. Now we are just taking some cash for our pocket for our office expense. We have not paid, so at that time cash is debited and bank is credited, not office expense. I will explain when it is coming in our question. Business receives the cash, thus as per the rules of debit, what comes in, cash is debited, bank is giver, bank is credited. When businessman withdraws cash for personal use from the bank account of business, in this case drawings account is debited and bank is credited. Whenever we are withdrawing for personal expense from our bank, so drawings is the for personal use, so drawings is debited, bank is giver, bank is credited. Non-cash transaction. When check is received, deposited with bank. When check is received from a debtor or a customer or any other person, its accounting treatment is given in bank. Bank is the check receiver, bank account is debited, and the customer or any other person is the giver, so his account should be credited. This is very good thing. When a customer is paying the check to us, so we are depositing that check into bank, so bank is the receiver of that check and customer is the given, so bank account debit, customer account credit. When payment is made through check, totally opposite. Businessmen pay all their almost expense to creditors through check. In each circumstances of this type, check receiver person or expense account is debited, bank is payer, bank account is credited. When we are paying any expense from bank instead of this office expense, see, we have withdrawn from bank for office expense, so cash is to be debited, office expense is not paid now. Okay, that thing you should remember. But directly if they are writing paid office expense from bank, so office expense account debit and bank should be credited. In the same way, whenever we are paying to any creditor, so that person is the receiver, person's account debit, bank is the giver, bank account credit. Bank interest. When bank credits the interest in bank account of businessman, businessman obtains this information from bank passbook or bank statement. In the books of businessman, bank account is debited and bank interest account is credited. If there is bank overdraft in the account of businessman, bank recovers interest from the businessman. This interest is expense of business. Thus, in the books of businessman, bank overdraft interest account is debited and bank account is credited. There are two types of bank interest. When the bank is giving us the interest or when the bank is taking the interest from us. Overdraft means we have in our bank account 2,000 and if we are withdrawing 3,000, then if it is possible, then we have taken the facility of overdraft. So our balance will be minus 1,000. That is known as overdraft. Okay. Now what they are telling, whenever we are receiving the interest from bank, so what in the question will be written, bank has credited bank interest. Same thing I have explained in chapter number 2 also. Bank has credited for bank interest. So what I said, bank has credited. So in that case, bank should be debited and bank interest should be credited. And bank has debited for bank charges. So bank has debited, so we should credit bank and bank charges should be debited. That thing I have explained in chapter number 2 also. If you are not understanding that thing, then again in different way also we can explain. I have explained in chapter number 2 also. How bank interest is received. It is our income, so it should be credited. It is received in bank, so bank account debit and bank interest account credit. In the same way for bank charges. Bank charges is our expense, they are debited and bank balance decreases for that, so bank account is credited. Same bank charges is given, bank provides service to traders for which bank recovers charges for certain amount. It is known as bank charge. Since it is the expense, bank charges is debited and bank account is credited. Now in brief, in short, remember the important rule in the context of transaction with the bank. Due to respective transaction, when bank balance increase in the books of businessman, debit and credit in bank account when bank balance reduces. Only a simple rule you should remember. If our bank balance is increasing, then bank should be debited. If our bank balance is decreasing, then bank is to be credited. Simple thing you remember. And in opposite side, person's names or income's names or expense name is there. Now we are going for this kind of transactions. Page number 103, transactions of bank. Write journal entry of Krishna for the following transactions. So we make the journal entries for Krishna. Question number 8. Journal entries in books of Krishna. Date, particulars, LF number, debit rupees, credit rupees. I will go more as the transactions are more, so I will go extra space also. Okay, let us start. First March, 20,000 deposited with the bank and opened the account. We are depositing the money in our bank. Bank is the receiver of our money and cash is going out from us. So bank debit, cash credit on 1st March. 1,340. Bank account debit to cash amount 20,000. B, cash deposited in bank. Next date is 5. Check of 5,000 received from Hari, deposited immediately into bank. We are receiving a check from Hari. We are receiving a check, so check is actually received in the bank. Bank is the receiver, bank account should be debited. Hari is the giver of the check, Hari's account should be credited. Just now in theory part we have seen, customer is giving the check, so customer is the giver, customer is credited. Bank is the actual receiver of that check, so bank debit, customer, that is Hari, should be credited. Bank account debit to Hari account. Amount is 5,000. B, check received from Hari. Next date is 6/3/40. Check of 2,000 received from Ramnik Lal for use. Now compare this 5th and 6th transaction. Same thing is given, excluding one thing, which is immediately deposited into bank. In both the transaction, checks are received. In previous transaction, it is deposited into bank, and in next transaction, it is not deposited into bank, but it is the same thing. If you have not deposited it today, you will deposit it tomorrow. So amount is received in bank only, not received to us. So entry will be same only. If today you are not depositing, the next day you will deposit. So bank will receive. So bank account should debited, and the customer, that is here Ramlik Lal, should be credited. Same, no change. Bank account debit to Ramnik Lal account, amount 2,000. B, check received from Ramniklal. Next date is 10/3/40. Now there are so much good transactions are given. Goods sold to Rupali rupees 14,000, out of which check is received for half amount which is deposited into bank. Okay, we are selling the goods to Rupali. Whenever we are selling the goods are going out, sales account is credited. Now think about the payment. For half amount check is given. For half amount check is given. So from 14,000, 7,000 check is given. So check is given by whom? Rupali. Rupali is the giver. So see how the transaction will be there. Please understand the thing. For sales of 14,000, a check of 7,000 is received. So check is received, bank account debit. Goods are sold, sales is credit. Now on credit side it is 14,000, on debit side bank is 7,000. So still on debit side 7,000 is remaining. Now that 7,000 is not received. Again I will explain the whole transaction. We are selling the goods to Rupali. Half amount is received, but they are not talking about half amount, so half amount is not received. So friends, how to attempt the transaction? Goods are sold, sales credit. Check is received, bank is debit. Now for the half amount, they are not receiving any amount. We are not receiving any amount. So that amount is not received, so name is to be written. Same way when we are selling the goods and no payment is received. See, whenever we are selling the goods are sold to Rupali or Rupali, what the name is given. Goods are sold, sales credit. She is not paying the amount, so Rupali to sales we are writing. Now in this transaction, half amount is received and half is not received. So half amount is received, bank account debit. Half amount not received, Rupali's account. Rupali account debit. And goods are sold, so sales is credited. But don't think that check is received from Rupali, so Rupali is credited. No. Because the reason is that Rupali is only receiving the goods. Rupali is only receiving the goods, so for the remaining amount she is not paying the amount. So this thing is to be remembered. Okay, so how we will attempt the transaction? A check is received, so bank account debit. Half amount is not received, so it is receivable in future, so Rupali account debit, receivable in future, not received now. And goods are sold, sales account credit. Now how to attempt the transaction? Goods are sold, sales is credit, 14,000. Half amount check is received, so bank account debit. And for half amount the check is not received, so it will be received in future from Rupali, so just 7,000 for Rupali. Okay. Now B, goods sold to Rupali and check is received for half amount. Okay. Next date is 12/3/40. Goods of 10,000 purchased from Deepkala, half amount is paid by check. Same to same, only the opposite entry. Whenever we are selling the goods, sales is credit. Whenever we are purchasing the goods, purchase is debit. Whenever the amount, half amount is received, so bank is debited. Whenever half amount is paid, bank is credited because check is given. And half amount which is not given, write the name of person, and half amount which we have not paid also we will write the name of person. So totally opposite entry. We are purchasing the goods, so purchase account debit. We are paying half amount by check. By check we are paying, so bank is there, so bank account. We are not paying the half amount, so write the name of person, Deepkala. Again I am explaining, compare with this thing. We are purchasing the goods and half amount is paid by check. We are selling the goods and half amount is paid by check. We are, first of all understand this thing. We are selling the goods, sales account is credited with total amount. We are purchasing the goods, so purchase is debited with the total amount. But remember, purchase is debited and sales is credited. We have received half amount, so bank is debited. We have not received half amount, so name is debited. Here we have paid half amount, so half amount is 5,000. And we have not paid half amount, so name is to be written 5,000. Both are totally opposite to each other but same concept. Goods are purchased, purchase debit, half amount is paid by check, bank is credit, and half amount is not paid, so name is written. We are selling the goods, sales credit, half amount is obtained, bank is debit, half amount is not obtained, name should be written. Same concept and easy. B. Goods purchased from Deepkala and half amount is paid by check. If you understand properly the rules and the transactions, then everything will be very easy. Next, now 15th one is important. Rupees 400 withdrawn from bank for personal expense and 800 for office expense. Again read the transaction. 400 withdrawn from bank for personal expense. Personal expense means drawing is fixed, drawing is debited. We are taking from the bank, so bank is credited. Also we are withdrawing from the bank for office expense. See, there are two aspects. We are withdrawing from bank for office expense, or we are directly paying office expense. As I said in theory part also, if you are directly paying office expense, if office expense are paid, then office expense debit and bank credit. If you are withdrawing only for office expense, you are just withdrawing from bank, you are not paid the office expense, so cash is to be debited. Remember this thing, friends. Yes, now I am writing 15,340. Drawings account debit. Cash account debit to bank account. For personal expense we are withdrawing 400. For office expense we are withdrawing 800. Total we are withdrawing 1200 from the bank. See, by writing the narration you will understand. Being withdrawn from bank for personal use and for office expenses, and write a note. Office expenses are actually not paid, so cash is debited instead of office expense. Why we have not debited office expense? Reason is that we have just office expense are actually not paid, so cash is debited instead of office expense. Reason is simple. You are withdrawing from your bank for office expense, you are actually not paying it. So for personal it is always drawings, but office expense, if they are paid, then office expense debit. If office expense are not paid, just we are withdrawing, then cash is to be debited and bank totally should be credited. Okay, remember the things. Next date is 18. Life insurance premium 300, fire insurance premium 450, paid by check. We are paying by check, so bank is the giver, bank should be credited. We are paying life insurance premium, so do not debit life insurance premium account. No, every day this transaction is given. When life insurance premium is there, then use the word drawings. So drawings account debit. Then we are paying fire insurance premium. Now this insurance premium is written as it is, fire insurance premium account debit to bank account. Reason is that in life insurance premium is based on person. not related to business, so it is drawings. Fire insurance is for the business, so its name is written. Okay. So every day this transaction is coming, friends. Drawings account debit. Fire insurance premium account debit, and bank is the giver of both these expense, so to bank account. Okay, life insurance is of 300, fire insurance is of 450, so total is 750. B. Now here you can write clearly B. Life insurance premium and fire insurance premium paid by check. Next date is 20. Okay, instead of writing life insurance, write the word drawings, remember, and fire insurance is of business, so write fire insurance only. Okay, next. Bank has approved bank overdraft of 25,000. Now this transaction is to be understood. Bank is just approving, bank is just finaling our overdraft. No cash is coming in, no cash is going out, nothing is happening. So this transaction is non-economic transaction. Why? Because we have not received any amount, we have not paid any amount, or we have to not pay or not receive anything in future. This is just a facility taken. This is just a facility taken. So write in the bracket, just a facility taken from bank. Nothing else. So this is a non-economic. Next is 25. Bank has credited interest of 250 and debited bank charges of 100. In this one transaction, there are two transactions. Now, combined entry is not possible. Why not possible? See, sometimes combined entry is possible, like here. But here it is not possible because bank is credited in one transaction, bank is debiting one transaction. So you should write two different things. See, here when amount is paid, it is same. But here one is debit, one is credit, so we cannot do like that. So here bank is crediting bank interest. So bank is crediting, so here bank is to be debited. If you remember like this, then also it is okay. Bank account debit to bank interest account. Or you remember bank interest is income, so it is credited and bank should be debited. And in second one, bank is debiting bank charges, so bank charges are debited and bank is credited. Bank charges account debit to bank. See, it is up to you how you are remembering the transaction. Bank is crediting, so bank is debit, bank is debiting, so bank is credit. You remember in this way, or bank interest is income, it is credited and bank is debited. Bank charges are expense, so it is debited and bank is credited. In any way you remember. Okay, interest is 250 and this is B. Bank credited bank interest and debited bank charges. You can see in one transaction bank is debit, in one transaction bank is credit, so combined entry is not possible. Okay. Now the last 31,340. Check of 5,000 issued for foreign visit of son from the business. Yes, our son is visiting in foreign, so we are giving a check. Check is issued means check is given. Now you cannot write this as traveling expense because son is a personal thing and it is for personal use, so you should write drawings. Drawings account debit. Check is given from the bank, so to bank account 5,000. Again I will explain the thing. We are giving the check to our son for traveling for foreign visit. So that son is a personal for house, so it is drawings and check is given, so bank account credit. B, check issued for foreign visit of son. $20,000, $5,000, $2,000, $7,000, $7,000, $10,000, $400, $800, $300, $450, $250, $100, and $5,000. $58,300. $20,000, $5,000, $2,000, $14,000, $5,000, $5,000, $1,200, $750, $250, $100, and $5,000. $58,300. So we are understanding each transaction again very fast, so that we will understand all the things. On 1st March, we are depositing the money in bank account. So bank is the receiver and our cash goes out, bank debit, cash credit. A check of 5,000 received from Hari, deposited in bank. Our customer Hari is giving us the check. Hari is the giver. We are receiving the money in our bank account. So bank is debited. Hari is the giver. Hari is credited. In the same way, for next transaction, Ramnik Lal is giving us the check. Ramnik Lal is the giver. Our bank is the receiver of that check. So bank account debit. Ramnik Lal account credit. Now for next transaction, goods are sold to Rupali. Half amount is received, which is deposited in bank. We are selling the goods, so sales credit. Half amount is received in bank, so bank debit. Half amount is not received, write the name of Rupali. So sales 14,000, here 7,000, so here also it will come 7,000. Opposite to it, next transaction. We are purchasing the goods of 10,000 from Deep Kala and paying half the amount through check and not paying half amount. So we are purchasing, so purchase account debit. We are giving half amount through check, so bank account credit, and half amount which is not given is written as his name. Next, we are withdrawing from the bank for personal expense, for office expense. For personal expense, when we are withdrawing, drawings is debit. Now we are withdrawing just for office expense. We are not paid the office expense. So whenever we are withdrawing only for office expense, so cash debit. If the office expenses are paid, then office expense account is to be written. And we are withdrawing from bank, bank is giver, bank account credit. Next, life insurance premium and fire insurance premium paid by check. Life insurance premium is paid, so it is expense, but don't write life insurance premium. Write drawings account as it is first. Then fire insurance is also expense, it is also debited, bank is the giver, bank credit. Next, bank has approved a bank overdraft. Just bank is giving us a facility, so non-economic transaction. Bank has credited interest and debited bank charges. Interest is our income, so bank interest credit, bank debit. Bank charges are our expense, so bank charges debit, bank is credit. And last, a check issued to son for foreign visit. We are issuing a check to son, so that is personal, so drawings account debit, and we are giving son a check, so bank account credit. So friends, we have completed two types today, type 2 and type 3. Tomorrow we will go for type 4. So till that, write in your notebooks, understand the things, and send it to me as soon as possible. That's all. Thank you.